highest vending machine.
Vending machine.
Vending machine.
Vending machines are an essential
of vending machines.
Before there was this.
We're going to be visiting some of the most unique vending machines in Tokyo.
Or
There is a vending machine for every 23 people in Japan.
there was this. There was also this. Which eventually led to this.
So where are you guys from?
We're both from New Zealand.
Alright. And what are these?
These ones are chocolate cookies. These are our Easter cookies.
Alright.
Take one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Today we are going to look into the brief history of Western video creators in Japan, the formation of the Jvlog community, and most importantly, what does the future hold for content creators in Japan? Japan vlogs started to appear on YouTube in about 2006. This was 1 year after the YouTube platform launched. This was before monetization, partnership for small channel creators, merch, crowdfunding, or any real general revenue stream for our creators to get paid.
I think I started it. I started a Japanese antique business called the Old Tokaido, and I wanted to explore YouTube as a venue to help me sell my wares.
YouTube at this time was full of cat videos, short meme videos, kids auditioning for Star Wars, gameplay, and other short form videos. Most of it was unscripted and had no storyline. Personally, I believe one of the reasons YouTube got so popular this time, besides the fact that Google bought them and put a ton of money into the infrastructure, was that cloud hosting hadn't been introduced yet. Actually, if you put up a video on a web host that got popular, you had to pay for bandwidth.
teaching English education to people, to Japanese, using blue screens, and the production quality was quite high. I was on something called iTunes. The downside to using iTunes was that you have to pay for your own bandwidth. So it got quite expensive pretty quickly. I was in the hole about $30,000. You start to lose a lot of money. So YouTube became a much more attractive platform to me because you didn't have to pay for the bandwidth. So appreciative of it. We don't actually anymore think about how much bandwidth costs because it's so like water now.
Back in 2006 or 2007, if you had a video you wanted to share with family or friends, it was a total pain. You couldn't send a video file of any size attached to an email. Since this was also before services like Dropbox and Google Drive were available, then along came YouTube. Upload your video to their site and send a link off to your friends and family, and they could watch you in your 360p glory.
So you know what? I'll just upload a video. One, it'll help me keep up my editing skills and my camera skills and stuff like that I learned in college. But then it's also a really non-intrusive way to allow people, like my friends and family, to see what I'm doing without feeling like I'm forcing it down their throat. So I just make the videos, put them up, and then I'd send out a link to friends and family. It's like, hey, I just put up this video about stuff. So my original intent for it was really just kind of like a personal journal that I could one day look back on, and also a way to sort of keep my family and friends like informed and hopefully entertained about what I was doing in Japan.
In the early days of people vlogging in English about Japan, almost none of them intended for their YouTube channel to be a long-term event. And this is obvious by the number of channels you can find from the early days of JVlogging that came and went. Even those who started YouTube, who are still active 10 to 15 years later, will tell you they never looked at YouTube as a business or any way to make money.
I remember when the monetization came up, and I remember making a decision that I wasn't going to be a part of that. And I think I went about 2 years. You know, it's going to sound cliche, right? I mean, this is going to sound like on principle, right? I felt like I didn't want to sell my channel out, right?
While YouTube didn't have much in the way of scripts or direction, it did allow Japan-based video uploaders to find each other and to meet in real life. As a result of this, the first ever YouTube hanami party was started in Yoyogi Park by American Kevin Cooney.
Party starts, I got things kind of set up, everything's good to go. We have YouTube t-shirts, which means...
Not only did the video creators at that point seem to have a great time meeting each other, but in 2007, YouTube officially launched in Japan, so for the first year of the party, they donated a bunch of swag for the event, really solidifying using YouTube as a preferred platform of choice for video creators in Japan. The hanamis were designed to be inclusive of everyone. You didn't even have to create any kind of content. It was just an open invitation to anyone to come hang out, knock back a few chuhais under the sakura trees. Even in Tokyo, where you're surrounded by millions of people, Japan can be a lonely place. For many foreign residents, the hanami was a way to meet with people who had the common hobby of creating videos and most likely spoke fluent English. If you were lucky, you might even be able to get Taco Bell at one of these hanamis, but I don't know how lucky that actually is.
So I thought like, hey, you know what? A hanami's coming up. I'll throw a hanami party. And I basically just put up a video and said, hey, any foreigners who are here doing YouTube? And I had reached out and talked to and was friendly with at that point. And I said, hey, I'll just say, I'm going to go put out a tarp. Anyone who wants to come, this is where I'll be. And it went really well.
Meanwhile, YouTube continued to grow. In 2007, YouTube allowed direct uploads from mobile phones. Company added monetization in 2008, 1080p video in 2009, and was having 24 hours of video uploaded every 60 minutes in 2010. The antiquated star rating was replaced with a thumbs up and thumbs down. Around this time, the YouTube algorithm was born, and YouTube rewarded videos with long watch time by pushing them to the top of their search results. And for the first time in 2012, the US presidency was live streamed from an internet platform. As YouTube was having explosive growth, the introduction of the iPhone and the DSLR revolution gave just about everyone who wanted to create video a means to do so. Footage became HD, and with the right operator, could look professional. No longer was video making being held behind a financial gatekeeper such as a network or a producer. All you needed was a phone and a little creativity, and you could start a YouTube channel and look great while doing it.
That was new at the time. And now what I see is more production quality. It's increased amazingly. It has to do with the cameras that we have back then, 4K cameras, the DSLR. Wasn't really a tool that we used. Everybody still had camcorders. Mobile phones didn't really have good quality either. The audio, not good at all. So the equipment that I had was broadcast equipment starting off from scratch. Nowadays, you can just pick that up pretty cheaply, and it's very easy to learn how to do it. So the quality is amazing.
Japan YouTube Hanami continued to grow in popularity, and the number of Japan vloggers also increased. It seemed like many vloggers also grasped the concept that they were riding a wave of a growing phenomenon.
楽しいですよ。まだ何も食べてないけど。I love you.
Rather than being a short, unscripted video clip, vloggers started to address the viewer and ask you to like, to comment, and subscribe.
So please like, subscribe, follow, see you there. Make sure all those notifications are on, and I mean like all of them.
Subscribe if you haven't already, and also thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Also check out my other videos on my channel.
This new style of vlogger gave many viewers a perceived, intimate view into people's private lives. While not unique to Japan, I think at this time a lot of parasocial relationships were made with people who lived in Japan and those who wanted to.
Hey guys, I am in front of Akihabara Station. I don't know if you can see it in the background there.
Hey guys. Today we're here with a package that my mom sent us for Christmas.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Michaela, and today I'm in Yamaguchi Prefecture.
Getting thumbs up and watch time pushed your video higher up in the search results, increasing your chance of getting more subscribers. It didn't take long for advertisers to convert subscribers into eyeballs. Matter of fact, for the first time ever in 2016, digital advertising surpassed traditional TV media. As YouTube became more and more mainstream, advertisers followed suit.
Before we get started, I want to say thank you to Booksu for sponsoring today's video.
Have a tourist business in Japan? Pay a vlogger to promote it. Run a service dedicated to learning Japanese. Pay for a shout out. Tourism boards, toy companies, and service providers all began throwing money at vloggers in Japan.
And thanks again for sponsoring this video.
Who had any kind of subscription base. While PayPal had been around already for a while, crowdfunding sites like Patreon and Ko-Fi that were specifically designed for creators appeared. And it wasn't long, just asking for a like, subscription, and a comment was followed up with a support my Patreon and a link in the description below.
The next tier is the Dope Taku, which is $10 or more per month.
While advertising from Google bounced up and down, sites like Patreon allowed creators more control over their YouTube platform. Kaidi and Eric, who post travel videos in Japan, discuss the uncertainty and stress that can come from just relying on AdSense for revenue.
At one point in time, we got flagged and they stopped all of our monetization on a YouTube video that had a song by a guy that he basically was not very super popular at all.
Sites like Patreon allowed creators more control over their YouTube platform. They could offer private videos, Japanese lessons, or monthly gifts. For some, it made the difference between pocket change and a full-time income.
Immediately, we were one of the first people who signed up on Patreon. And immediately it was like a good thing for us. And I was able to be like, okay, this has long-term sustainability at this point. I don't have to worry about just ad revenue, which is like peanuts. It's like nothing on the scale that we get views, which isn't astronomical. So basically Patreon's existence is sort of what was able to make it so that I could stop teaching and focus on making videos. Without Patreon right now, at our level, it would be impossible.
In fact, by 2016, between Google advertising, Patreon, PayPal, some Japan-based YouTubers were making more money at their hobby than they're making at their day job. At this time, one of the most commercially successful YouTube channels was Rachel and June, amassing more than 2 million subscribers on their main channel and a whopping 5 million on their secondary June's Cooking channel. They were one of the first Japan-based YouTubers to break out of the Japanosphere and into the mainstream, even getting some coverage on the BBC. Around the same time, merchandise sales became a potential new revenue stream for YouTubers of all sizes.
And before I start, if you want to help support the channel, definitely check out my Tokyo merch. And if you want to see what I'm doing on the daily, definitely check out my Instagram account.
Print-on-demand t-shirts, cups, hats, and stickers started being offered by almost all YouTubers. With virtually no downside risk, everyone was all in on companies like Teespring, Printify, and Custom Cap. The YouTube hanami also started to get some commercial sponsors, and many people shouting out their channel and doing whatever was necessary to get some attention for the camera.
Thanks. It's one of my favorite channels on YouTube, honestly. And I recommend you...
While everyone was still included and invited, many think that the business of YouTube changed the dynamic of the gathering.
It started getting catty and mean, and I started getting more people asking me well, what do you think of so-and-so? What do you think of this YouTuber? And I don't, they want to put up content. It's not a zero-sum game. There's enough space on those servers for everybody's story, and if people want to watch that story, good for them, but it became mean and competitive, and as though if someone else gets a subscriber, that takes one away from me.
There are probably several hundred Jvlog channels on YouTube, and much like broader YouTube, out of all those channels, only a handful will ever get the needed views and subs to make a living. While a good majority of those have no interest in the commercial side of YouTube, some people undoubtedly have the idea of trying to make a living as a Jvlogger.
My husband said, let's start a YouTube channel. I was completely down for it. I was extremely excited. Then you realize how much work it takes. And the editing aspect of it too as well. I'm very proficient on computers, and I'm a very good video editor, but I do none of the editing for a channel because I don't make any money from it. It's not like an hourly job where you put in work and you get your money. My husband, luckily enough, I'm very lucky to have him. He's extremely focused and he's still on that track.
In the last couple of years, content creation platforms have multiplied. For example, in the past few years, Japan has seen an explosion in creators who are making podcasts, live streaming on Twitch, and TikTokers that have millions of followers. The commercial side of content creation in Japan looks only to expand and provide new and exciting potential earning opportunities for creatives in all mediums. Patrick, who goes by the Paper Pat, has 1.5 million followers on TikTok. He got popular by making short comedy sketches, many of which ESL teachers can relate to.
Started my TikTok account in October of 2019. I think it was maybe January or February of 2020 that I reached my first 100,000 followers on the app. And from that point on, it was like every month would be a new 100,000 followers that I'd gain, give or take. And eventually just led to me being at the number that I'm at now.
While Patrick mainly does TikTok as a hobby, he also works with an agent who helps him earn money through branded deals similar to YouTube.
TikTok isn't really a source of revenue for me. However, what a lot of creators will do also is They'll do sponsored posts or like brand deals on the app, similar to how YouTubers do. That's been my main way of getting any kind of, really the only way that I get money through using TikTok.
The commercial side of content creation in Japan looks only to expand and provide new and exciting potential earning opportunities for creatives in all mediums. But will content creation in Japan ever go back to the simple days before monetization?
There will never go away the market for the small foreign content creator, because that is where the empathy comes for the young man or woman in somewhere else outside of Japan that says, I'm dreaming of Japan. The person that's going to represent them most is the foreigner living in Japan who's struggling to get by and is communicating to them.
Well, I definitely agree with Kurt that there will always be that place for people who want to share their Japan journey with friends and family. If you want to earn a living from your videos, it will take a considerable amount of work. John Dobb of Only in Japan has this little bit of advice to aspiring new YouTubers.
Be authentic. I know that we've all been influenced by other YouTubers and what they do, and a lot of us want to copy and do the same thing. That is a good way to start, but just make sure that you evolve into being your own person and you have an authentic voice. That is paramount if you want to build up followers and have people come in and watch your content.
While all you really need to be a content creator is that desire to create and willingness to have fun. But don't kid yourself. If you're looking to make a business out of social media in whatever form, you'll have to treat it like a business.
Highest vending machine. Most unique vending machine.